Investigation tonight. Local police departments looking to nab criminals are turning more to technology, putting their own cameras on street corners and in the sky.
But Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger is finding they're doing so in secret. Some are questioning why there's not more transparency on the technology that's being funded by your tax dollars.
Check the St. Louis Police Department's social sites and you'll see image after image of criminals they're asking you to help catch. Robbers stealing from stores, burglars breaking into homes. Often it's clear the images come from a business, like at a bank. But look again and you'll see shots from the street. So whose camera caught that? It could be the police.
There is not a camera on every corner.
Not yet. They're putting them up at a pretty good pace to try to help out, but they're not at every corner.
Tom Sawyer is a former city cop, now head of a company called Blue Line Technologies. He says departments nationwide are installing their own cameras in hopes of preventing and solving crimes. After all, the camera, he says, is a star witness.
The camera will show you what you have, and it's not going to deviate with its testimony.
Every day, we see benefits of the technology from a real-time crime center.
City PD has been implementing cameras for years now. Back in 2018, we toured the city's real-time crime center, a 24/7 shop. At the time, the department saying they had 600 public and private cameras on continuous feeds.
I'm very proud of the real-time crime center and what it has done for the safety of our city.
Even as recently as 2019, former Chief John Hayden touted the tech.
The real-time crime center become the eyes and ears for the city to help keep people safe.
But ever since, the city's been more secretive. As Sawyer says, they are installing more eyes all the time.
And that's the good thing about technology, is it's scalable. So you can start out with just a couple cameras, and then you can make it into hundreds and hundreds of cameras.
Many of the cameras are very visible to the naked eye. They've even got flashing lights. But if you want to ask how many cameras are there in the city now, well, you're not allowed to know. News 4 submitted a public records request asking for documents on the cameras because we wanted to know how often they were broken. But page after page came back like this, blacked out and redacted. The department now refusing to say how many cameras they have or what specific camera companies they contract with, saying it relates to sensitive law enforcement information and data information technology.
Why would St. Louis be afraid about letting its citizens know what the government wants to do in the name of keeping them safe and protected?
Chad Marlowe with the ACLU says he's got real concerns about the state of surveillance in the city.
It's a matter of scale and invasiveness that can be turned on when the government controls all the cameras.
He worries they disproportionately impact only some.
When you get a surveillance camera that's deployed in a poor community or community of color, it's watching the people who live there. When it is deployed in an affluent community, it is watching the people who don't live there.
But he says we can't know the impact if we don't know where the cameras are or how they're being used.
Secrecy around surveillance makes it very difficult for the tax-paying public to decide whether or not it's the best use of their taxpayer dollars.
In recent years, a proposed bill at the Board of Aldermen would have required more surveillance oversight, but so far it's not passed.
If anything, St. Louis is on the worst side.
Other cities like Baltimore and D.C. even have maps or lists of the exact camera locations.
People still do crime on cameras.
Alderman Brandon Bosley says there's no reason why police shouldn't reveal the locations of some.
I think it should be balanced. There should be a lot of cameras that we know exactly where they are, and there should be some stealth cameras around just in case when they're doing certain investigations, they can put up and pull down mobile cameras.
He wants even more cameras in nearly every neighborhood.
In our area in particular, there is not enough of them, and I don't see the police department at some point in time not moving this way.
Here's what we do know. The PD is utilizing fixed and mobile cams, some with some pretty good zoom power. They've also got license plate readers that can feed info about cars on the streets in real time. And while they have a drone, SLMPD told News 4 Investigates they haven't started using it yet. Our review of documents also revealed the cameras often are not even working. An accident knocked down this camera in 2020. This one, according to emails, appears to be tampered with. But more often, it's just a tech failure bringing the cameras down. The camera frozen or pointed at the ground. The images obscured by a giant bug, perhaps, or even just blurred. Displays showing some of the cameras down altogether. Officers in emails sometimes expressing frustration. One writing about a homicide in June of 2021, quote, "The camera would have captured the incident in full if operational. The camera appears to be offline for some time. The cameras are down," wrote another officer in 2019. "There is a shooting at this location and the cameras could be of use." Fixing the cameras, the PD says, is the responsibility of private companies installing them, who, again, we're not allowed to know about.
Nobody's doing it for free.
That they would be not working sometimes is not a surprise to Sawyer.
Are the cameras only effective if they're working?
They are only effective if they're working, and as any technology, and everybody that's dealt with technology, things can go down for temporary periods of time.
And he says as a crime tool, they'll always have their limits.
Can a camera replace a uniformed police officer?
Absolutely not.
Cameras, he says, have to be paired with patrols. Still, he too wants more openness from the police about who's being watched and when.
You don't want to get caught on tape doing crime, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't care whether they get caught or not.
And for those worried they're forever under a watchful eye,
nobody's watching every camera that's out there. It can't be done.
We asked St. Louis police for some data on how effective the cameras are at catching the bad guys. Well, so far this year, those license plate readers, which are smart cameras, have resulted, the police say, in 476 arrests, 291 stolen vehicles being recovered, and 99 guns being recovered as well. Now, St. Louis isn't the only one with cameras that they operate. We've got more information possibly about where you live. All that at KMOV.com and the KMOV News app. I'm Lauren Traeger, News 4 Investigates.